Go ahead, please. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, this question is for Ethan. Would the technical rejection criteria apply to all submission types or just ANDAs?
It's applicable for ANDA, NDA, BLA, and the commercial INDs.
Microphone number 2, please.
Hi, my question is for Ethan and Jonathan. So with the rejection guidance about the study data, for a study that started before the December 17, 2016, if we provide the data in the CDER standards, does it get the review process faster than if we provide the legacy data?
Certainly, we encourage people to submit a standardized data format, even for the studies started prior to the, let's say, December 17, 2016 for end application.
Jonathan?
I want to just add to what Ethan said as well. Your question brings up another thing I want to make sure that we make clear is even if your study starts before December 16, 2016, you need to include a trial summary file. And the technical rejection criteria document talks about how in this scenario where your study started before this date, that you can use what's called a simplified trial summary file, which is a way to do it without having to use special computer software and so forth. So we just want to make sure that people are aware, even if your study starts before December 16th, 2016, you still need to submit a trial summary file.
And sorry, again, and also not only the trial summary file, you also must include the STF file as well, and the STF file must be tagged properly. That's an existing ECTD standard requirement anyway.
Okay, let's go to an online question, please.
Can there be watermarks on documents? Will they pass ECTD publishing standards?
Watermarks, those will not cause a problem. It will still go through without a high validation error. It'll get processed.
Okay, and if there's any questions in the room, come on up to the microphone, but let's take our next online question, please.
This question is specifically for Jonathan. On the FDA website, paper copies of authorization letters are required to be mailed to the ESG office by the CRO before they can be submitted, before they can begin submitting submissions via ESG on behalf of clients using their ESG account. Why are paper copies of authorization letters still required to be submitted to the ESG, even the availability of the ECTD? Even with the availability.
Great. So the question is, why are paper copies still required to be sent to ESG? Unfortunately, that's not my area. That's really best directed to the ESG group, which is in a different center. But you could send that question to, I think it's ESG Help Desk at fda.hhs.gov, and that'll get routed through and you can get an answer there.
Okay. Do we have another online question, please?
Yes, we do. When creating an account in Portal, is there a secure email required to be established with the FDA? Will the portal replace submission via gateway?
So you don't need to get a secure email in order to create an account in the portal. And can you repeat the second half of the question?
Will the portal replace the submission via gateway?
So for right now, the portal is being used for submitting pre-ANDA meetings and controls, as well as a couple of other things that I mentioned, but that's just now the current plan. I don't know what the future holds.
All right. Again, any questions, please come up to the mics, but let's take another online question.
Could a non-US company create an account from their country of origin instead of the US agent?
No.
Those are my favorite kind of answers. Absolutely.
You have to, sorry. It's late in the day. You have to have a U.S. agent in order to create an account.
Okay. And microphone number 1 up close for me, please.
Thank you. My question is more operational. As you described before, it was a person who was reading all these cover letters. Was that a dedicated person, or was it done in shifts, or what?
Right, so the question is, when people in the document room have to read the cover letter of a submission, is it done in shifts and so forth? So the document room personnel is there during regular business hours. There's just, oh, lost my microphone. Oh, it's back.
Battery's dying.
Okay. So there's just one shift. It's during regular business hours. So if you send something in and there's some conflicting information and it gets spit out to the document room staff and it happens, say, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, probably no one's going to look at it until the next day.
Okay. And again, if there's any more questions up in the room, we've still got about 10 minutes. Feel free to come up. Next online question, please.
This is for Kris. Do we have to use the portal? Do we have to use the CDER Next Gen collaboration portal to do pre-assigned application number requests when it's released later this year?
I'm actually not sure if that's going to be a requirement or not. The way we've rolled out the other programs is that we've, for a time, allowed them to be done both ways and then switched over permanently to the portal. But I'm not sure yet whether you'll be required to get your pre-assigned number in the portal once that is rolled out.
Okay. Any other questions rolling in online? Evidently in the room, everybody's anxious to find out if the lobby bar is in fact both a bar and in the lobby. We'll be getting there shortly. No hurry. If there are any questions, come up to the microphones. Online, Renew, do we have any other questions coming in?
Sure. This one's for Jonathan. If the ECTD submissions are going to be automatically routed to the reviewer, who does the ECTD screening at the FDA?
So the question there is, if the ECTD submissions are going to be automatically routed, then who does the ECTD screening? So what happens is CDER and also our other center, CBER, we have software that automatically performs validation on the ECTD. These are looking at technical validations, and as long as there are no high errors, it would get processed to the review division or the review office, where the review offices have their own filing review department, and that would be where a person in the review office would actually open up the submission and look at it from a content perspective and make sure everything that needs to be there is there.
Another online question, please.
This one is, again, for Jonathan. Is the field copy certification still required for an ECTD submission, and why?
There is an ECTD technical conformance guide available on our ECTD website, and it has the specific information about the field copy certification and what is required. Just off the top of my head, I'm using my memory here, but I want you to look at that ECTD technical conformance guide to make sure this is accurate. But from what I recall is the field copy certification is basically, since your submission is going to be in ECTD and it's available electronically, that means that out at the field offices, they also have access to our submission repository, so they can log in and view the submission. So you don't have to send the field copy certification out to the different field offices, but you do want to let them know that you've submitted your ECTD.
Okay. Microphone number 2, step up nice and close for me, please.
My question would be for Ethan. So we have received a couple of deficiencies for different studies to provide peak concentration and parameters value, even though we have provided PCPP, ADPP, and ADPC in the standard format? Is it because the SDTCG suggests to provide legacy data in addition to the standard data, the converted CDER data to support them?
For study prior to December 17, 2016, and if they are conducted in the legacy format, as a general practice, we do not recommend people to convert into the SDTM format because it could lose information as what expected by the reviewer. That might be the case in your scenario. I don't know the exact case there, but we do not encourage to do so. However, for any study start after December 17, 2016 for end application, they are required to be submitted in standardized format.
Okay, thank you. How are we doing on the online questions? We got another one ready to go?
Yes. Can you switch module 1 from 2.01 to 3.3 if you already have your submission started with the agency?
Yes, you can absolutely do that. And
Can you repeat the question, please?
yeah, so the question was, if you've already submitted to the agency under the old M1, which is the one using a DTD of 2.01, can you change over and
Once too often? They're waiting for people to
Does-
type. There we go, okay.
Does FDA prefer the old ICH style guide version 2.2a since the STF will not open in most internet browsers with the new version?
the question is, does FDA prefer the old style guide or old style sheet versus the new style sheet? Because the new style sheet doesn't open properly. So the new style sheet does open properly. There's some clarification about that issue that some people were having. It's on the ICH website. Actually, you can find it through our ECTD website with FDA. If you look in our ECTD submission standards, you'll find a link to a Q&A document. And in there, it addresses that issue that some people are having with the style sheet so that it will open properly. But from a broader context, FDA doesn't use the style sheet to review your material. FDA is using the ECTD viewer software that we have installed in our centers. And the ECTD viewer software does not rely on the style sheet.
Okay, do we get one last online question, please?
Can the portal be used for pre-IND meeting requests?
Oh, it's not currently available pre-IND meeting requests.
Okay, and we get to end on one of those nice, clear, direct answers. If you would, please help me thank our panel for coming and sharing their wisdom with us.